reason we got on here tonight was to talk about this fucking fraud. And I don't mean just this fraud that everybody's been hearing about with the daycare stuff. That is part of it, but just everything that's starting to get exposed now. Who should we be more upset with? The people that are taking advantage of this, or the ones that are sitting back allowing it to happen? And
That's a good question, Shane. That really is, dude.
I mean,
Because yeah, go ahead. No, go ahead. Finish up,
well, I
dude.
was going to say, I think there's, there's blame to go around. Of course, I mean, it's not like
Yes.
these Somali people that are over there taking advantage of the system, and anybody around the country. I'm not just going to sit here and pick on the Somali crew the whole time. That's just the ones that happen to be in the limelight right now, because this
Right.
is going on in every aspect of welfare. But when you really start to dig into it, as they've been saying, this is the tip of a very huge iceberg with
I
this shit
believe
going
it.
on in Minnesota. It's just ungodly amounts of money that are just being given out fraudulently to people that are just starting businesses and different little bullshit companies or whatever. And it had me wondering, like, should a lot of the negativity be more directed towards them, or should we be looking at these assholes like these Tim Walls that are allowing people to do it, or
Good
both?
question. Nah, I think it's both, man. Of course, you got to blame the ones that are taking advantage of it, because I think some of those programs in the realm of things are probably pretty good, and I think they can help people out if it's healthcare, daycare, if it's food, SNAP. I mean, I know we've hit on SNAP benefits back a couple few episodes ago, but no, I think it's good, but it's the oversight that is just not there. If you see what I'm saying with that, it's just there's
Yeah.
no oversight, and it's just come one, come all. And boy, if you can produce and have a company, and it doesn't matter if it's a shell company or a legitimate company, if you can just say that, hey, I have this going on, I have a business set up. Oh, okay, well that's fine, man. We'll send you whatever, $1 million or $100,000 to, and it's just, I think it's like I said, I think they're most of them start off as good programs to help people, but I think ultimately there's so much abuse, man. God, it's
And
just ridiculous.
right, and I expect the abuse. I
Right.
expect it out of, it's almost human nature. People are going to
Sure.
try to take advantage of shit when they can. What makes
Yeah.
it worse is, you had mentioned there's no oversight. I think
Right.
what's even worse than that is a lot of this shit is overlooked
Sure.
by people in the government that are supposed to be keeping this shit under control.
I can
And
agree with that.
yeah, and I can't think of any other reason besides voter base. I mean, I don't know why else they would be doing this besides, because look how much it helps Tim Walz. There's no way
Right.
somebody like him would get elected without all of these people that are able to game the system, move into the areas that he runs over there, and vote him in to keep him in. There's no other reason to vote for him.
Right.
He's
No.
he's horrible. I mean, just he has no kind of tracker. He's terrible. He's a terrible candidate. But when you can move in a bunch of people that are just living off the system, so to say, and being able to navigate it in a way that they could take advantage of it and make millions doing it, well, why wouldn't you vote for him?
That's true. And it's going to be interesting to see when all of this fraud eventually comes to light. And man, you can see what's going on in California. I'm not saying fraud, but it is to a certain degree with regulations and stipulations and whatever Newsom's putting in place over there. But it'll be interesting to see red states versus blue states, and even in red states like blue cities, how much fraud is really being committed in a lot of these cities within either red or blue states, if
Sure.
that makes any sense.
Yeah. That.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, that will be interesting to
Yeah.
see. Like you said, just when we go ahead and compare these fraud numbers and see where
Right.
most of it was going on. And I mean, if Polymarket has it up, I would definitely go with the blue. You know what I mean? The
Yeah.
Democrat-run, liberal-run cities are the
Yes.
only ones that are looking the other way when all of this shit is going on. Because, and I keep wanting to reiterate that it's not so much that this is happening and it's like, oh shit, we didn't know it. They know it's going on. That right there makes it 100 times worse, because these are
True.
people that are taking your tax dollars and are supposed to be divvying them out in the right way, whatever
Right.
they say is going to help the country, whatever we're doing with these tax dollars. But instead, they're giving them to people that are coming over here and saying, oh, I got a daycare with 100 kids in it, not a single fucking kid. Meanwhile, average everyday citizens right now are struggling just to pay bills and get by, living
Mhm.
paycheck to paycheck. Meanwhile, their checks are getting garnished in the way of taxes every freaking
Right.
week that are going to bullshit programs like this. That makes it worse that these politicians know what's going on and they refuse to stop it.
Yeah, that's true too, and it makes you wonder how much of that money just. And I know we're beating up on Minnesota right now with Tim Walz, but how much of that money has what they say circled back to
Sure.
him through campaign contributions, or maybe he's got shell companies set up.
Well,
It'll be interesting to see when this whole onion is peeled.
probably millions. It'd be interesting to see how
Yeah.
many of these so-called daycares have
Right.
donated to the Democratic campaign over there. You know what I
That's a
mean?
good one.
Like you said, a
Yeah.
big circle. We give
Yes.
you all these millions in
Yep.
return. You donate it, and it just looks like a private company out there, a little daycare donating, $1 million to the campaign or whatever, 500,000. But in actuality, it's the taxpayers' money going right back to
Sure.
Tim Walz.
Right.
There's no telling how much of that is going on, and I guarantee you, it's not zero. There's some of that going
Yes.
on, but I don't know. I could see a lot of American people are fed up. They're fed up.
I hope.
It's well, I hope so too. I mean, I see
Yeah.
they're talking about this big tax strike, income tax strike. I
Hmm.
don't know how far that's going to go. It sounds great to people that are just fed up with the system, but it's a bigger question is where should most of the blame go? Because these people over there in Minnesota and the Somali community, they're catching a lot of hell right now, and deservingly.
Yes.
But I think most of our aggression should be pointed towards these progressive, liberal politicians in this country that they absolutely are tanking this once great nation with their bullshit policies, man. It's like I don't know, a big cabal of sanctimonious elites with their Ivy League, pedigrees and taxpayer funded salaries, just virtue signaling their way through every damn debate, all
Yes.
while pretending they're the moral compass that we really never asked for. You
No,
know,
ain't that the
it's
truth?
it's it's crazy, man, and it's infuriating. It's just they're systematically like dismantling really the fabric of America, one disastrous bill at a time, and immigration is Exhibit A. I mean, it just the wide open borders, basically a free for all when they're in charge, and it's not that there's anything wrong with immigration, but like we all say, just do it the right way, legally
Exactly.
for one,
Yes.
and with folks who contribute and
Right.
assimilate. That's a big word.
Whew. It's a major
Assimilate
word.
it, right,
Yes.
and chase this American dream down that they're after, which I get, but chase it down without all these fucking handouts.
Right. It's
It's
not
just
needed. It really isn't, It's really not needed to give all these handouts because it does. When you look at handouts, it just totally knocks out the whole American spirit or the whole thing
work.
about being American. It's work. Yeah. I mean, if anybody can come here, or even if you're a citizen,
Sure.
and it's like, and look, I'm self-employed just like yourself. I've been doing this almost 30 something years, and I work my ass off to build what I build. But dude, there's days where it's like, dude, I hear of people, I see people, and it's like, dude, they're making this living wage, and they got a nice car, and they're living in a decent little house, and it's like, dude, if I could get me $60,000 a year, why would I go to bust my ass every day and go to work? It just
Yeah,
yeah, when I sit back and look at it, there's no incentive if you're on the dole, And I understand
right.
people need help. There's that demographic that people need help to get by, and that is what it is. But when we come back, and you can go back as recently as COVID with PPP and all. Look at the fraud and abuse that was committed just on that.
Major. Major.
Major, man.
Yeah, that and like you said, it kind of kills all drive in a lot of people if it's just a shit ton of handouts.
It
to
negates
everybody.
it, dude.
But
Yes.
and what makes it even worse, are the group that's getting the handouts are the least deserving. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Like
Yes.
we're the ones working, paying these taxes,
Yes.
and it's like give us some of that back. And I don't mean just a couple grand here and there,
Right.
because like I've mentioned before on a previous episode, if they're able to steal billions,
Right.
then that means they don't need the billions. If
It's
they were
very
able to
true.
send it to these bullshit companies overseas and everything else that Doge was figuring out,
Right.
they had money going places that they don't even know where it was going. Somebody might have passed away or something, but it was just on auto pay. Nobody was missing this money. So if they're not missing it, they didn't need as much. So I say they owe everybody who's been paying into this system hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not
Yes.
millions, depending on what you've paid in. I just feel like these couple dollars that they try to give you and all is just a smack in the fucking face, man. When you really see the scale of this fraud that's been going on around the country, and I think we're just now starting to really hear about it. I can imagine as this year plays out, it's going to just, I mean, billions upon billions, if not trillions of dollars are going to come to light on what's been going on, because I'm
Yes.
starting to see people investigate in other cities now across the country after what Nick Shirley did. Yeah, they got a bunch of copycat, street reporters out there trying to do
Which
their
is a
thing
good
now,
thing.
which is good. It's good.
Yes.
Yeah. Independent
Absolutely.
journalism. It's great. I'm glad he's kind of kicked it off now, because I'm starting to see more of it,
Hmm.
and it needs to be done. Now, will it stop all of it? Never. It
Never
never
ever.
will.
Yeah.
Right. But if it could slow it the fuck down and at least put some of these politicians in check, that's about all you can ask for right now.
Exactly. I agree with you 100%. It just, and I think what they're hitting on, even in Minnesota, man, that's so minuscule. And we say
Very.
minuscule, but we're talking 9 billion plus. I mean, they're saying it could be upwards of 9 billion. I say it's more probably, God, 12 to 15, but you'll
Yeah.
never know. But it's just, and that is really minuscule when you look at the amount of money that we bring in this country every year. And then you hit the nail right on the head, bud. I mean, God, look at the taxes that we pay. That, you know what? I sit and look at my little paycheck, or my kids that work for me sit back and they look at their paycheck, and it's like, dude, it's so disheartening every week that they're pumping out this tax money, which I don't have a problem paying taxes, but it's like when you're pissing away, when you're taking that much money and you see where it's legitimately going, and it's like, dude, I could really do more with that money if it was investment or paying my
Sure.
bills. You know,
Yeah.
it just, yeah,
Then
it's really effed up, dude. You know,
it is. And I know, like you said, we're picking on Minnesota a lot right now just because they're the ones in the news.
exactly.
But I don't even know. Well, I guess I can't say. I was going to say I don't know if it's any bigger than what's going on in Minnesota, but I can imagine it probably is.
Oh,
Places
absolutely.
New York and
Yeah.
up, and no telling what's going on in California.
Right.
I mean, for some reason, Minnesota is just the one right now, because it sounds like such a crazy number when you hear 9 billion, and that's probably a drop in the bucket to what's going on in some of these
Yeah.
bigger states, these bigger blue states at least. But when you got Minnesota, I mean, it's a freaking socialist wasteland now, where these liberal hacks have, they've turned the state into a petri dish for their failed, inclusivity experiments that they're doing, and that's what this is leading to.
Very
They've
true.
latched on it to defending the Somali immigrant community like it's their legacy project, and they shield any real discussion under the guise of anti-racism. You can't even talk about it because it's just racist to even bring it up.
Right.
All while their policies create this very problem that they're too spineless to fix. All in the name of not wanting to be called a bad word and don't
Right.
want to lose a vote. That's the last thing you want to do. And it's just disgusting to watch it unfold, because that shit is going on, and it's probably been going on for a couple decades now.
And they hate us. And
Thank
they
you.
hate us. Yeah. I mean, they hate us. These people that are getting this kind of money, they hate us. I mean, we have people that are sitting in Congress that hate America. And
Isn't that the,
it's
isn't that
just
the craziest part?
oh, it's so mind blowing, dude. So
That's the
mind blowing.
craziest part. Like you said, the ones that are benefiting the most from being
Absolutely.
here
And they
will
hate
sit
us.
here and shit on it. and
Yep.
wave their fucking flags all over the place. It's crazy.
Yes.
Now, I did see that one daycare owner. Did you see him saying that his place got broken into and they stole all the documents? So that,
Yeah, I understood
you
what I could coming from his mouth.
yeah,
Yeah, but yeah, I did make that out.
yeah,
Yeah,
they
absolutely.
took all the documents, like the proof that there were kids there, because he was going to turn that over, So they took all employee documents, they
Of
took all the
course.
children's documents. That's what they broke in for.
Mm,
So
how
it's
convenient.
so. I hope if it's true, I hope it was Alex Jones that broke in,
Yeah.
because then he'll disclose it all,
Yeah, right.
But that dude, that was like they're getting together like, oh fuck, we don't have no paperwork. What can we do?
Right.
So oh, we got a building got just coincidence got broken into. All the paperwork got stolen. Oh, I'm like, here we go. Like, who is actually believing that? But what are you gonna do? Because the state and the city's going to investigate it like it's a real crime. And then they're going to
Right.
come out with some bullshit story about how, well, it does look like somebody did enter the premises and took, documents. And it's like, shut up. No.
Exactly. Yeah.
And it comes down to everything when it comes to the government. It's their word against what you believe. And there's really nothing what are you going to do?
Right.
It's terrible that we've come to that point now. And that's just from, I guess, just being so complacent and just content with our lives for the most part, that we just stop paying attention to the type of people that we're really putting in fucking office. I mean,
Yeah.
everybody just falls for their bullshit stories and what they're going to do to make things better. And I don't know. I don't know what led to this. And like I said, I'm sure it's been going on for a while. It just
Years.
now. Yeah. And it. I mean,
Yeah.
it could have been decade, 30, 40,
Decades.
50,
Yeah.
who knows?
That's
Who knows?
really
The
what I
government's
meant.
been corrupt for,
Yeah.
since probably day fucking one. But, when you start seeing your money going towards bullshit like this, it should really infuriate everyone, dude. Everyone.
Absolutely. And it's everything, man. I mean, I think even if you go as far back as, the war on drugs and, say no to drugs and shit like that, dude. And just the money, the trillions that were thrown at just that, dude. And it was probably nothing more than just this massive pool of money, and it's being dispersed and amongst politicians. And I see it now with the EPA, I mean, 20 billion, they want, some of these Democrats out there like Chucky Schumer wants a $20 billion grant for the green deals and stuff to help houses and, people. It's like, dude, God, it's nothing but just a cesspool of endless money. And you've seen it with Elon Musk with all these NGOs and, and you can just, God, I'm lost for words right now, but and it does, Shane, it just pisses me off when it sits back and it's like the little bit of money I make every year and I pay in taxes. It's just, God, is this where our money's really going? I see why we're 38 trillion in debt, dude.
And that's kind of what everybody should be feeling. And and there's people that are probably don't give a fuck because they're benefiting from this government also. Not illegally, but there's a lot of people that get money back on their taxes. So they're not going to give a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
But anyone who has to sit down and either do their taxes every year or has to pay someone to do it, and they owe money, there's no reason this should not piss you off. And I know there's Democrats out there as much as Republicans that pay taxes every fucking year, and it's a shame that this turns into some partisan fucking issue. Like
of
fraud should not be who you voted for's argument. You know what I mean? There's no fucking way, but it is. I'm seeing it lay out. We're watching X. I'm watching people argue over it. I'm watching Scott Jennings on CNN having to explain to these idiots that he's sitting at that table with that it has nothing to do with race. In that, because that's what CNN turned it into, is that Trump and everybody's only going after them because of their ethnicity. And it's like, no, it's because they're stealing fucking taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
The fuck doesn't matter what color they are. But that wasn't good enough for the CNN panel. Everything has to be about race and what party you voted for. In a situation like this, like if somebody comes in your house and steals your fucking money, do you care who they voted for to say it's wrong? Mm-hmm. It's that simple. It's that simple. But these idiots out there that are just brainwashed by their side just can't get past that. They can't get past that. Well, my side isn't the one that's accusing them. So therefore, I guess I got to go with they didn't do anything wrong. And it's like, what are we doing here? Like they're stealing your fucking money. If you pay taxes, they're stealing it. It's that
Stealing it.
fucking simple.
Without a doubt, dude. It's stealing it. And God, for what you pay, and when you sit back and look, we're in a red state, and I sit back and calculate what I pay between sales tax, property tax, freaking income tax, state income tax, and it's like, wow,
Yeah.
it is incredible, dude, what we pay, even just being down here in the South. And I feel for the people in New York or California or some of these other blue states, and it's like, dude, it's just so overboard. And I'm with you, dude. I do not think it's specifically Democrats. I believe it's both of them, man. And our politicians of today do not have the best outlook for their constituents. It's all about their greed and their whatever they can accumulate on their own, if that makes sense to you.
Yeah, no, I get it. And I wanted to throw this comment up there. Idiots actually believe there are two parties. Never said we believe that. I said these people that start picking what they think is right and wrong based on who they voted for. That's the idiots that think there's actually some two-party system out there. So you're fighting for your side. And because one side is going after fraud, the other side is saying, oh, what's the big deal? You're only doing it because they're black. Like, get the fuck, stop, stop. No, I personally believe Republicans, Democrats, they're all the fucking same. All of them. They're all corrupt.
And if you look at the comment before that from Robert, he doesn't seem to like what we're talking about tonight. But, I guess he means us idiots are blaming the Democrats, but Trump added $8 trillion. And that, yes, he did. I don't approve of that. But how much did Biden add to the deficit in his last 4 years? Probably in the neighborhood of $5 trillion, probably. And it's all going back where our deficits have doubled here since Obama, So, and it's a never-ending game. And when we sit here, we try not to play politics here. We're just trying to be really fair and middle down the road. And we're trying to look out for the common person here that works and pays taxes. So, and we're not saying it's one-sided. We are saying, hey, it's both sides of the aisle here that are really taking from what us pay.
Well, this is what you get with politics. You get the whataboutisms.
Right.
What about Trump and his we never once did we come on here and say, hey, let's talk about who fucked up the U.S. debt. We're talking about this fraud that's going on and how it's essentially being excused by one side. Right. And I don't understand that for the life of me, how anybody who pays taxes can choose a side on this besides let's get to the bottom of this and stop this shit and hold people accountable. We're not on here to defend Trump. To me, Trump has nothing to do with what's going on. Trump didn't figure this out. Right. A 23-year-old fucking kid figured this shit out.
Yeah.
So Trump, we can keep Trump out of this conversation. I mean, that's a whole other podcast on what Trump's doing right and what he's doing wrong, because there's plenty on both sides of that, So
absolutely.
Anyway, yeah. So I don't know where that came from. We're just talking about this massive fraud that's going on around the country. Yes. And Minnesota being such a small part of what's going on, I'm almost afraid to really have people get to the bottom of this, simply because I think it's just going to make people sick to their fucking stomach, or at least it should. It should, because you're getting your money stolen and given to people that they're basically buying votes with your money. Sure. That's what these politicians 100%. Are doing. Yes. They're buying votes with your fucking money. They're bringing people over here that refuse to let's get on. Let's go along with the program. You're in fucking America. Assimilate and act like it. You know what I mean? Yeah. And it's that simple. It's that fucking simple.
And you can look at it just like this, the amount of monies that's being spent from donations. If you can go back all the way to the last election, I mean, why in the hell? And dude, how about even something better? We look at local elections where, dude, you're looking at a job that pays $100,000 a year on local. I'm just going local elections on some of our local elections that they got a job that's paying $90,000 to $100,000 a year. And dude, they're spending $500,000 plus dollars, or maybe I'm sorry, not 500,000, maybe $3 million, $4 million. But you take that to the federal level, where somebody's, the presidency, Kamala Harris spent $1 billion to get elected for a $400,000 job. Does that make sense? You know what I'm saying? It just tell me there's no there's no greed, no corruption embedded
Yeah.
in all of it, man. You know?
Well, I know it's funny when you word it like that,
Yes.
but they spin that because when they get in, they're gonna make fucking 20 times that,
20 times that, man. There's
But
not a broke politician in Washington that can be accounted for. I'd like to know if somebody in the comments can tell me who is the lowest what wealth holder in Congress. I bet you they're all millionaires if I had to
yeah,
guess.
it'll be some newcomer, but just give them time.
Give them a
You know,
couple of years.
yeah,
AOC is the one that comes to my mind. Of course, she's a Democrat, and I'll get beat up on the comments for that. But you go in with $20,000 in your pocket, and here we are 6 years later. She's worth 20-something million. My
yeah,
question is how? How
and
does
I've
that
talked to
happen?
you before about
Yeah,
this, and in no way, shape, or form do you say the Republicans aren't part of that too.
absolutely not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So but
absolutely.
I know what you
Yes.
mean. AOC
Yep.
always comes to mind just because the
Right.
whole, bartender all of a sudden
Right.
wealthy in
Yeah.
politics. So
Yeah.
it's just,
Yeah.
it's the funny one that everybody goes after. But
Yes.
yeah, by no way, shape, or form will we ever say that the Republicans are innocent. They're all
Mm-mm.
they all become wealthy. They
Yes.
all enjoy this insider trade and shit that they get to do up
Yep.
there legally somehow. And it benefits every single one of them. And that's why none of them want to
Absolutely.
leave. I mean,
Right.
besides Marjorie Taylor Greene for some reason. It's like, I'm out of this bitch. But,
Yeah,
you
that's a
know,
weird situation there, dude. That's a weird
yeah.
situation. Wasn't she on The View the other day?
I think so. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
She's the one
Yeah.
been kind of pushing this nationwide tax strike that
Right.
I've been seeing a lot about now. Like I said, that's kind of a far fetched. I guess it'd be nice to see if everybody could actually come together and be like, you know what, fuck yeah, we're not doing it. We're not paying these damn taxes. But
I
like I
agree.
said, it's a little tougher to do that. I mean, it's the concept of it is great. It's gained a lot of traction amid these revelations of large scale government fraud, which it should gain some damn traction. But
It should.
the problem with it, most people are W-2 employees. Now you can submit, revised W-4 and to the employers claim an exempt status to stop automatic withholdings from your paychecks. But the problem is the employers are legally required to report and withhold based on IRS rules. So this
Right.
could trigger an immediate IRS lock-in, letters basically overriding the exemption. So the IRS has all the power in the world. And with only 16 to 17% of the workforce being self-employed, that's really not, it doesn't give, a lot of people an option to just not pay
Right.
taxes. Somebody like you and I, we could just not do our taxes. But our
Right.
16 to 17%, they're coming after us. We're easy to round up, Now, if the whole nation did it, that's a different story. So,
Right.
yeah.
And that's what scares me about this whole don't pay tax crap. It's like, nah, I got a little too much to lose, man. I don't know if anybody out there has ever had the IRS crawl up their ass over bullshit, minor money. And it's like I always said, they'll spend $1 million to collect $10,000 or,
Yeah.
$1,000. And it's like, I'm not taking a chance, dude.
Well, I always tell the ones touting that, like I see a lot of people screaming it online right now. I'm like, you first. You know what I mean? You first.
Yeah.
You go ahead and tell them fuck off. I'm not paying my taxes, and I'll try. I'll see if I'll follow suit. But the problem is, you get these people with these big platforms that are going to get a bunch of people in fucking trouble.
Exactly right.
They're going to be paying their fucking taxes while they're on here like, fuck them, don't pay it. I say we all quit. And it's like, yeah, bitch,
Right.
you're over there paying your fucking tax. Nobody wants to be the one to jump in front of the IRS if they don't have to, So it sounds great.
Mhm.
It would actually, maybe let the government know, hey, look, man, we're not putting up with this bullshit no more. But is it something that's realistic? Probably not. And like I said, that Taylor Greene lady, she's on there getting everybody fired up about it, and I bet she pays her fucking taxes. So
I bet
let's
she
put it
does.
that way.
Yeah, and I know Trump's out there. He's touting the ending of tax, federal income tax if you're making under $150,000. And look, I'm all for it. But I would like to see any Democrat that hates Trump out there. Do you think they would take advantage of that? Or would they say,
keep sending it
F Trump, screw Trump. I'm
Yeah.
gonna go ahead and voluntarily pay my taxes. Yeah, fuck off, dude. But
Yeah, keep sending them taxes in just because
Yeah,
Trump. And they probably have some people out there that have that bad of Trump derangement syndrome that they would do it. I mean, that's a.
I didn't think about that, but yeah, you're right.
They'd be like, what? Trump said don't pay. No, no, take
No,
mine. I
yeah,
mean,
take mine.
that's how bad this shit has gotten
It
with
is.
Trump, man. I've never seen it like this since, he came
No.
down that damn little escalator, man. It's been crazy.
Yeah.
But
Not that he's perfect, bro. He's not. There's a lot of things I disagree with him, but
yeah, yeah,
not that he's
yeah.
perfect, but is
But
he was he the better
oh, I'm
choice?
sorry.
I think so,
Of course. I mean, he had to have been. I mean, think about it. Right now, this idiot that's in all of this trouble in Minnesota would be your fucking vice president.
Yeah.
Like, can you imagine that shit show that would be
Can you
going on
imagine?
in Washington right now?
None of it would ever have been brought to light. We would still have all of this illegal immigration
Everything.
flooding the
It'd get
borders.
worse.
It would be so horrible here right now, just within the last year. Oh my God, I couldn't even imagine, dude.
No, I was thinking about that earlier because a lot of times that slips my mind that he would be in the White House right now had Trump lost. And then you look at everything that he's allowing. This is nothing. Imagine what they would have done had they controlled really controlled the government. If that administration would have got in, everywhere would be Minnesota.
Yeah.
By now, or at least they'd be going towards that. I mean, by 2030, the whole fucking country would be a big ass fucking Minnesota with the fraud and the illegals and there's no telling how bad that shit would have got. I don't think people realize the bullet that they dodged.
Oh, dude, we dodged a major bullet.
I know people hate them with a passion.
Yes.
But just look what the alternative was. It's scary, man. It's scary because you see what they're uncovering now. Yes. It would have never ended. Like you said, none of this shit would ever come to light.
Nope.
And even if it did, if the right administration was in, this Nick Shirley kid that did this shit, it would have never saw the light of day. His YouTube channel would have been pulled down. Twitter, back then, Twitter would have silenced him if they still had their way like they were trying to do. I mean, they were controlling almost every social media platform. This would have been quote unquote misinformation, and they would have done their hardest to suppress what this kid was able to do. But when you throw it up on something like X that Elon owns, it's over 100 million fucking views. You can't hide it now. But that's what they would have tried to do had that administration been in office. That's the 100%. Road they were going down, man. They were getting bad with that censorship shit. The only thing that saved us was Elon buying this. You know what I mean? And then the other ones, the other platforms, they stayed horrible for a while. They're still not perfect, but they kind of started to play the game a little bit because they saw the traction that X was getting with allowing people to say what you want. Put the news out there and let the people decide for themselves what they want to believe. Stop gaslighting people. And we needed that. People hate Elon because of politics. They hate Elon. They hate X because, people can get on there and say what they want. So for some reason they hate that. But I don't think people realize that slippery slope we were going down with the censorship had he not done this. I mean, I remember back when it was Twitter, they were basically being told what to do by the Democrats. Same with Facebook. I mean, Zuckerberg all but admitted it. Yeah. That he was told by them to kill stories and because it's misinformation. And it's like, who are you to decide what misinformation is? I mean, that's a scary power to give to somebody. You know what I mean? Because then you're only going to hear what they want you to hear. It's fucking scary. And it's amazing that some people want to live like that. It's crazy. But
some people do. Yeah.
Enough on that. Back to the fraud, because it gets even better. According to the U.S. Department of Housing and Urban Development, they've identified approximately $5.8 billion in questionable payments in their rental assistance program. So you know what that means. What that's going to happen. What's going to happen with that? You watch when it all comes out. There's going to be more people, and it may be Somali people, may not, may be Americans, whatever. There's going to be people that are claiming they own homes that they don't even fucking exist. The home doesn't exist. There's going to be one home that's got 10 fucking addresses linked to it somehow. And these people are receiving fucking money every month from the government. You watch when that shit really comes out.
It just gets better, huh, dude? I never even thought about that. But now that you're saying that, it's like, holy shit. Holy shit. Yeah.
Well,
Dude,
when
you're
they made it
100%
as
right.
easy as they did from what we're seeing in
God.
Minnesota with the
Yeah.
60 fucking,
Mm.
home health businesses in one little
Mm-hmm.
building, 60 of them
Right.
addressed to this building. Well, then why
Wow.
can't they do that with the HUD program
Yeah.
in
True.
certain areas?
Oh, yeah,
The
yeah,
ones
yeah,
that
yeah,
just
yeah.
aren't being. Now, I know Trump said he was cutting all daycare assistants
Yeah.
across the country until they're basically audited. And look, that is probably going to have some innocent people in a bind for a minute, but you can
Yes.
blame the Democratic politicians that have allowed this to happen.
Yeah.
So, because what's good, their first knee jerk reaction is going to be to blame Trump,
Sure.
just like they do with the food stamps.
Yes.
Just like they do, they don't ever look at it like, well, maybe we need to get to the bottom of this fraud. They don't look at it like that. They look at it like you're cutting off my welfare. Well, you can blame the people who have been complacent this whole time with allowing people to take advantage of that system. And
Right.
again, allowing them to do it. It didn't go undetected. They don't give a fuck. So
Right.
now good people are going to have to suffer because of it. So you can blame them assholes. Or blame Trump, whatever makes you sleep at night. But
Yeah. Well, you'll have that
it's
side
not,
that's you're gonna have that side that blames Trump for sure, man.
of course.
But God, it's just yeah. And I hope I just I do. I look at Trump as a 79-year-old man that just works tirelessly. He's been doing it for years, and I worry about him health wise. But who wouldn't worry about somebody that's 79? Because I have people that are 79 in my family, and I worry about them just playing golf, But when I sit back and I hope that he can keep on, and I hope that who he has in his cabinet and that is right next to him that can keep opening and peeling back this onion, and hopefully to the taxpaying citizens of this country will wake up and be like, hey, whoa, 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 whoa. It doesn't really matter because we discussed it last week. It doesn't matter what side of the fence you on, liberal or Republican or Democrat or Republican, liberal, conservative. It doesn't really matter. It's all about the fraud, the waste, and the abuse. That is my biggest thing now. And it just pisses me off to know that the dollars I pay every year and the dollars you pay every year and the dollars that anybody pays every year, that is just going to what? To this bullshit.
Bro.
You
And
know,
look,
you know
I
what I'm
mean, I know
saying?
it's, yeah, and look, I know it's like it's beating a dead horse, but everybody should be furious over this. Everybody.
Dude, without a
Can't
doubt.
say it enough,
Without
man.
a
Just
doubt.
for people to blow this story off like it's just no big deal. This is a huge deal because
Yep.
this is such a fucking tiny fraction of what's really going on
Yes.
behind the curtain. It's
Yep.
disgusting, man.
Yes.
It's
And it's been
disgusting.
going on, like you said, Shane, for decades, dude. For
Of course.
decades, this shit. And it's now probably, which a lot of it will never be traced back, but it's into the trillions.
Yeah.
Dude, I keep harping
Well,
it, dude. I see why we're 38 trillion in debt, dude. I see it in this country, because of
well, these
the fraud, waste, and abuse, man.
These midterms are coming up. That's going to be,
Yes.
it
It's a
usually
big
doesn't fare well for the party that's in power.
power. Right.
I know Elon said he is dumping a ton of money behind
Good.
the Republicans. He posted himself on X that America is toast if the radical left wins. They will
I
open the
believe it.
floodgates to illegal immigration and fraud. It won't be America anymore. And all you got to do, going back to Minnesota, well, look at where all that fraud's going on. You wouldn't even think you were in America when you go in those areas.
I'm telling you.
And
Absolutely.
that's how they would love the entire fucking country to be. They would never lose power if they can accomplish that. And that is why they open those borders wide open. They like to hide behind it some humanitarian, effort that they're doing to help people. They don't give a fuck about them people no more than they give a fuck about us.
Yeah.
They want to flood these cities, these states with these illegals because they allow them to vote, and there's no way they can lose then. It's very simple to understand what's going on, and Elon sees it. He sees it, and I hope he dumps billions into this this midterms coming up. He's got it.
I like what Timothy says at Timothy at 9:07, Shane.
Where's
I like
Timothy?
what he has to say.
Where is he? What'd he say? I don't see it.
9:07. I'm sorry. Democrats seem to want to give our dollars away a little more than anyone else. Makes perfect sense. It's so true, Timothy. And
It's
we thank you
typically
for your
good.
support, man. We really do, brother. Thank
Yeah,
you so
yeah, yeah.
much, man.
Yeah, the Democrats love doing that. And look, I mean, we said it earlier. You can't just beat up on one side because they're all corrupt. They're all power hungry, crooked
I
assholes.
agree. Yep.
But it just seems like every time something like this comes to light, there's one
Where's
color
it at?
behind it. Right. And it ain't
Exactly
black, it
right.
ain't white, it's blue.
Right.
It
Yeah.
just it's so crazy that it always that path always leads back to them.
Right.
It's disgusting, man. And it's all I think it's all done just to encourage more people to come over here and bog down this system, take advantage of it, vote
Yes.
for us. We're going to feed you. I mean, hell, we're going to make you wealthy. Open up a
Yep.
daycare. You'll make,
Yeah.
you'll
Yeah.
make $400,000 a year and you don't have to do shit.
Right.
So, I mean, it's very enticing. And that goes back to, one of the main question that we started the episode with was who do you really have more hatred towards when it comes to this? And to me, it's the people that allow it more than the ones that take advantage of it.
Exactly
I
right.
mean,
No, I agree with you on that.
if it weren't for them, none of this would be going on. None of it. It's that simple.
Right.
It's
Well,
that simple, man. The politicians, they're not leaders. They're basically, useful idiots just accelerating our decline. They're prioritizing the wrong shit, and it's this multiculturalism and instead of this actual like patriotism. It's
yes.
just it's crazy, man. And between them and just these, I don't know, man. These woke. I was looking at the video of that owner talking about his shit getting broken into. All right, I'm watching the video. Now, right behind him, there's a fucking liberal white lady standing back there with a sign, just nodding her head the whole time. And I'm thinking, you're the reason this fucking country's falling apart. It ain't the Somali people. It's
Exactly.
women like that standing behind this shit and supporting
Right.
that nonsense after all of this news has come out. And they still stand back there shaking their heads and, oh, yeah, poor people. No, fuck that. They're fucking lying. They know what they were doing. He's standing up there like, oh, I don't know. He's like, because one guy, one video, now we're all being targeted. Well, good. Because if you don't have shit to hide, then just show the fucking paperwork. Say, what are you talking about? I got 37 kids that come here every day. Here's the paperwork.
Absolutely, dude.
You know what I mean? But they couldn't do that. Instead, it's like, well, it all got stolen.
Of course.
Like, and then you still got the white lady back there like, yeah, poor people. Yeah. Oh, my God.
Freaking bobblehead, Yeah.
Oh, jeez. And it was disgusting to watch. But
it is.
Speaking of white ladies, I'm sure there was one behind this. San Fran forms a reparations fund that could give black residents $5 million each.
Oh, man,
Brad, I know you've been fighting for reparations for years.
Yeah. Absolutely.
So now it finally may be getting it,
And then figure it's going to come out of California, the most bankrupt state out of any of them,
Isn't that something? They can't afford to, oh, God.
They can't afford to wipe their ass anymore, man, And you know what's interesting about California, man? I know this is kind of a little bit off topic, but I want to hit, did you hear that Chevron, Valero, Phillips 66, dude, they are pulling out of California. They're tired of losing $2 billion plus every so many years. And they're done with it, man. $8 gas over there. They can't make any money, these corporations. And Chevron's been in California for, God, 100+ years over there.
Yeah.
And they're finally like, dude, we're out, dude. We're done. We're out of here, man. So, dude, it's totally going to screw up the whole West Coast, man, when it comes to energy and fuel and gasoline, dude. So, but I think it's a good thing.
I think it is too.
Fuck them. Yeah, get the fuck out, man.
And here's what I hope it fucks up a lot of shit before this next election, and it can all be pointed back to California and how Gavin Newsom ran that state. Exactly. I hope it's devastating, and the blame could be put on him because he's gonna run in 2028.
Oh, he's running, bro.
So it would be nice to be able to show what he did to California and the whole West Coast, like you're mentioning, before he actually gets any kind of votes to put his ass in office, because that's a scary thought. I mean, that motherfucker, that is the last person we need sitting up in there trying to turn the entire country like California. But
exactly
back to, San Fran's issue. It's like you said, man, they don't have a fucking dollar to do this with. But It sounds good, I guess.
Yeah.
It sounds good to these, low information voters out there. It's never going to happen. They're not going to see a dollar.
No.
But it said the board of supervisors voted unanimously, of course, to create a
Of
reparations
course.
savings fund. It's a
Yeah.
dedicated account to collect and distribute funds for reparation programs aimed at Black residents. This fund operates without any initial city allocation, relying instead on voluntary contributions, grants. You hear that, huh? Grants
Man.
and potential
Big word,
future
yeah.
appropriations. Now, what they say this could cost the citizens over there, cities, critics argue that this would equate to roughly $250,000 per city resident in taxes and fees. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
somebody
Absolutely.
gets fucked in this, and it never fails.
Common
Over some
man,
nonsense, because the last time I checked, California never had slaves.
Dude, you took
If
the
you
words
read
right
a
out my
fucking
mouth.
history
dude.
book,
God. You took the words right out my mouth, man. God, you beat me to the punch, dude.
I'm sorry.
No, go ahead, dude. Go ahead. Carry on, dude. You're doing well, man.
Yeah, you would think maybe if we get together before the show, we would know, but no, none of this shit's great. It's all fucking.
This is just off the
we
cuff.
just get
dude.
on. I'm like, Brad,
That's
let's
how
go
we do it.
live, bro.
Let's do it. Yeah. Look, I was sitting
So-
there drinking a little wine with the family, and then my boy
Yeah.
texted me, "Yeah, let's go live." Yeah, let's do it.
Let's
dude. I'm in,
stream.
dude. So-
I got some shit to bitch about. Let's stream,
absolutely,
but,
dude. That's what makes.
But
it
anyway, yeah, the city doesn't have any money to even go towards this. They acknowledge San Francisco lacks the financial resources to fulfill this fucking obligation, but it sounds good,
But they don't if they tax the citizens, dude. So yeah, let's just a little $250,000 tax or whatever it might cost the average guy in or woman in California. Yeah, it'll be a great thing.
their shortfall already with the city budget it's over $800 million.
Absolutely.
And all they're concerned about is, I guess, virtue signaling. Just, we're going to give $5 million to every Black person that can prove they're descendants of slaves. They said there's 40 to 50,000 eligible Black residents. Now, none of this is to defend slavery, but what about every other race that's you know what I mean? Like, they're not the only ones that were ever enslaved. So we're just going to keep going with this. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's like, when does it stop?
When
does it stop? Because what's going to happen, it's going to wind up costing taxpayers, just like they mentioned, hundreds of thousands of dollars. And that basically is them buying votes again. That's all it is. It's just, just give them money. Let's promise them some money. Let's give them some money. And I can guarantee you this. If they ever did start to collect money in this fund, do you think that money's actually going to make it to where it's supposed to be going? It never does.
No.
It never does in these types of situations. It's basically the blind leading the blind in those Democrat cities. Yes. And there's somebody, eventually it's going to come out that so-and-so bought 3 luxury homes and went on these shopping sprees and vacations, all with this money that was meant for reparations. So the whole thing's a fucking crock of shit. And it's just ignorant, man. Get over it.
Yep. Yeah, let me like Timothy here, man. Our boy Timothy that has some great comments, man. San Francisco used to be a beautiful place. It now looks like a giant pile of Democrat poo. Well, how about we just say shit, because it is. I've been to Frisco 3 times, wine country, beautiful place. The last time I went a couple of years ago, Timothy, I agree 110% with you. It is shit. It used to be a beautiful. Oh, it was a beautiful place, man.
Is it as gay
and it
as
still
is? Isn't it like the gay capital or something? Isn't it like more gays out, or it used to be?
Maybe so, dude. I don't know. Yeah.
No, let's
they
look it up.
They don't bother me. Yeah,
I'm not making that up. That's a real stat. Let's see.
It's a real stat. Yeah.
Let's see. I'm looking it up right now. Let's see.
Abel. What you want to talk about, Abel?
Oh Lord, it's searching.
It's either there or Key West.
Yes, San Francisco is widely recognized as the gay capital of the world. I didn't say anything was wrong with that. I was just asking.
Me neither.
A question.
No, it's a very cool place, man. I've had a great time there.
Yeah,
absolutely. I love gays.
We love the gays here. Look, matter of fact, hold on. I'll prove it. We're inclusive, bro.
There it is. It
Yeah.
just doesn't get any better than that. We are so open on here. It just
They don't
bring it on,
bother
dude.
me.
Not
They
at
don't
all.
bother me. Now,
Okay.
what else are we gonna get
So yeah,
into?
fuck reparations in California. That's what I'm putting out there tonight, dude. Fuck it.
Well, and it sounds horrible. I get it. People would listen to people say stuff like that,
Absolutely, you're
and it's
100%
almost
right.
like you were
Yeah.
justifying what went on in the past. And it's like, no, because I
No.
know what's going to happen. This money is never going to make it to who they claiming it's going to make it to.
Mm-hmm.
Never. And
I
they'll
agree.
always have some bullshit story of why, and it wasn't me. I didn't take it, and it cost to run this operation, so people had to get paid, and whatever bullshit they're going to come up with.
Exactly.
These people, they 40 to 50,000 residents that getting all excited, thinking they're going to get some fucking money. You ain't going to see a dime of it. It's not going to happen.
No.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah.
For one, they ain't got the money. If they
Right.
did, they're just going to fucking steal it. So, I mean,
Exactly.
you're not getting it. So don't get excited when they start throwing that bullshit at people. That's just another way to buy your votes, man, off these hopes and promises that never, never get fulfilled. So
Look, for all them race baiters and all them people out there that want to beat us up on slavery and this and that. Well, if I recall, we are the one of the only countries that ended it, and it still goes on in the world. So let's focus on that,
Well, and that goes to a point I was kind of thinking of earlier today. Just scrolling X like I do all the time for no fucking apparent reason, but I'm scrolling it and I'm looking at it and it's like just the white guilt. It's got to be one of the most destructive things to ever go on in the 21st century. I mean, it's this is what's kind of caused all of this bullshit that you see leading up to the Minnesota stuff, because a lot of what they were saying why they were so lax and not really looking into this is because they were afraid to be called a term that nobody wants to be called, And look, I'm not saying you should shoot to be called racist, but looking into fraud isn't racism. I'm sorry, but there's people in certain areas of the country, you don't want that stigma at all. Like your life is over. If somebody calls you that, it's the worst. And it's like, okay, call me what you want. I just want to see where the fuck this money's coming from and where it's going. It's that simple.
Right.
Well, but it stops a lot of that. So a lot of people get away with shit all in the name of that. Like I said, just the white guilt. It's like, oh, we can't even question it. We've had our turn. We can't. It's like, shut the fuck up, man.
Well, you can see the whole white guilt with Obama. That's what got us there with him, So people thought, well, if we vote the first African American president, and which I have no problem with, I just anybody but him, but I have no problem with that. But you can see where it's led us, and it's going to make everything better. Race relations will be better. I didn't really think we had a big problem with race relations in this country.
Dude, I didn't either. I just don't think it exists like people make it out to be.
Yeah. Mostly being down here in the South, and we're always demonized that we hate black people, we hate Hispanics, we hate Chinese, and it's the furthest thing from the truth, man. It really is, dude. And it just but you see what that gets you. You see what a white guilt gets you,
Yeah, well, and that's, you made a good point that they will paint that picture like we're all at each other's throats. Just
absolutely,
as far as
every day,
go.
dude. Every day, I don't see it. Yes.
I don't see it. I mean, we're all in the stores together. It's like, hey, how you doing? I'm speaking to one just like I'd speak to the other. I don't see it. Apparently, it's a huge problem if you ask a Democrat politician. Yeah, I think it was was it Biden talking about the white supremacy is the biggest threat to the nation or some dumb shit like that.
Right.
And I'm like, where? Who?
Exactly.
I'm not
saying
me. There's no
exactly.
Right, and that's not to say there's no hatred and racist people.
Right.
But for one, it's every race. I've seen some racist black people.
Yeah, you and me both.
I've had other black people. I've had black people tell me that black people are some of the most racist motherfuckers they know. But it's okay because nobody's going to tell them anything because it's always looked at, well, they can do that. And it's like, hey, that's fine. I don't care. You can not like me because of the color of my skin. I really don't give a fuck.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's not running rampant like these Democratic politicians want everybody to believe. I mean, it's just not. I mean,
it's just another facade. Yeah, exactly.
Bro, I've lived in the South my entire life. I don't know a white supremacist. I don't know.
No,
never met one. No. Don't want to meet one. Because if you
No.
see what is with the way they look on TV, they're just a bunch of dumb motherfuckers that I'd rather not talk to. But I've never seen one. And you can't get much more south than us. I mean, the Gulf is only a few miles from us. So, I mean, we're pretty fucking south down here, bro.
Yeah, we don't
And
get much south. Yeah.
Yeah, and like I said, I'm not excusing the fact that there probably is some pockets in the country that are pretty racist fucking places. You know, I get it.
Right.
There's some bad elements out there, bad people, but I just don't. I don't like how these politicians keep us at each other's throats by gaslighting us into believing that shit like that is going on more than it is.
And don't think that's not by design, dude.
Thank
It
you.
really,
That's exactly what I was about to say. And
Yep.
it's all purposely done to keep
Yep.
us that way, to keep us infighting, and
Yes.
they can steal billions to give to fucking Somali fucking fraud daycares. That's
Mhm.
because we're not paying any attention. We're too
Right.
busy worried about, who doesn't like me or who I don't like. Apparently, it's crazy, man. And look, there's a big portion of the country that fall for it, man. You get
Oh, yeah.
locked into the news, and then it's like,
Absolutely.
oh damn, it's going on like that. Like, oh shit,
Yes.
it's kind of like the I'm sure we've talked about it before, but the Kyle Rittenhouse shit, where there's people to this day that believe he shot black people.
Right.
To
Yes.
this fucking day, they believe he's just a major fucking white supremacist racist that went out there and
Right.
shot black people.
Right. Exactly.
So far from the truth.
yeah.
I mean, but that's the media. That's what they want. They want you to believe that. It's kind of like CNN, like I brought up earlier, when Scott Jennings is on there saying we need to get to the bottom of this fraud. The first thing they can think of is why? Because of their race. It's like, what the fuck? And the whole panel agreed with this person. I'm like, oh, Jesus Christ. Dude, I'd pay money to be able to go sit down with a fucking panel like that and just really have it out.
Isn't that the
Problem
truth,
is,
dude?
the problem, they'd end the fucking segment though, because I wouldn't
Yeah,
be able
right.
to behave like Scott Jennings
Yeah.
does. But it would be fun. It would be fun, dude. But anyway, I didn't.
That's
wanna
all
turn
they
this into
have,
a
bro.
race.
No, it's
Yeah.
not. It's not. But you're bringing a lot to light, man. It's not about color. And it's not about different ethnicities, and it's not about any of that, bro. It's just really about when you look at the fraud, and that's how we started here. When you look at the fraud, waste, and abuse, I'm over that, dude. I am so tired. It just pisses me off beyond anything that I could say that I want to say on here. I have choice words, but I'm trying not to use them.
The good news is, Brad,
Yes, sir.
you've got plenty of money, so you can donate to these causes, dude. You can donate
Okay.
to
Gotcha.
a daycare for a Somali. I'm going to start that. I'm going to start a fund.
Let's do it, dude. Yeah.
Daycare for Somali, and they're all welcome. Come over here. We'll start a little GoFundMe. We're going to
Yes.
keep this going, man.
Is
I
that
feel sorry for
daycare
these
with
people.
a C or a K?
You spell it how you want.
I got you.
I mean, it doesn't matter,
My man.
apparently.
All right, cool deal.
It
I'm in.
doesn't matter if you look at the way they did it, but oh man. So anyway, Elon's got like I said, got the Republicans back. Just to sum up what we've been bullshitting about, he's dumping, I hope, billions into this
Me too.
midterms.
Yeah, good. He's
And,
got it, dude.
Yeah, he's really under the belief.
He's
dude,
doing
that
well right now, dude. Yeah.
Yeah, it's funny too because I know there was a minute that him and Trump were bumping heads, but I don't. I think Trump would take shit more personal than Elon would. Elon's kind of special. I don't know a better word to say. I mean, he's he's on the spectrum, and he'll tell you that. So
Right.
it's not like I'm saying anything derogatory towards him, but
Mm-mm.
he really, really believes that this country is going in a bad way with just the
I
way that
believe
these
it.
liberals are trying to, just change everything we know as American. Look, I always say it, dude. You may not like what this country is. You may not like what this country stands for. You may not like what this country was founded on. You may not like the country at all.
Right.
But it is our country. If you don't like it that much, just get the fuck out. And I'm not
Right.
saying that the illegal, how the illegal thing, why don't you get out and go back home? No, I'm saying even if you're a citizen, move. Get the fuck out.
Exactly.
Because this is
Exactly.
the core principles of America. It's what it is, man. They've already killed religion in the country.
Right.
Christianity. They've done a good job of taking out of almost everything. And there's a lot of people that would say good. But
Yes.
I think that's where the downfall started. Because whether you're religious or not, there's nothing wrong with following what the Christian religion preaches. I'm not religious, but I
Right.
still live by the rules or the suggestions that they make. is just to be a decent person, and I think once you started losing religion, it really started, people kind of got a little less fear of repercussion when you stop believing that there's something bigger than you watching what the fuck you're doing. Now, a lot of people would
100%.
say, the fucking magic man in the sky, but I don't care. If that's what it took to keep
Right.
people on track,
Yes.
let them believe it.
Yeah.
I want everybody to believe there's a big motherfucker above you hovering, watching everything you're doing. And if you don't do right, you're in trouble. I would much rather them to believe that than what they're believing nowadays, which is just nothing. Just, do what you want, no consequences. I mean, it's crazy, man. And I, like I said, I know that's another episode that could go on for hours when you get into this religious, debate and discussions. And this is coming from someone who's not religious. I don't go to church. I question a lot of it myself, but I do believe the fundamental, principles behind Christianity is probably a lot better than what we're doing right now, which is
I
every
agree.
girl out there trying to be the biggest whore they can be to get clicks on social media, and that leads to nothing good, because a lot of them are just out there acting, but these
Right.
young girls coming up seeing that don't realize that, that everything you're watching on there is fucking fake. These people are bullshit. But young women don't see that, so they come up acting like that. You see the way men are. I mean, it just the households with one parent nowadays is just astronomical. I mean, I don't know, man. I don't want to get on a whole rant with all that, because I don't know everything. I just personally believe that when we started taking a lot of the religion out of the country, it started to kind of decline a little bit. Now, Obama was big on that. He was big on because of his Muslim ties.
Right.
And you're starting to see a lot of that coming into play. Like, matter of fact, that one in New York that just got sworn in.
Oh, yeah.
On the Quran. You know what I mean?
Yep.
That's what he got sworn in on.
On the Quran.
And it's like, hey, some people say, well, so what? That's his religion. Bro, that's the last one you want taking over the country. I promise you.
Yes.
That's, I ain't going to get into that.
That's going to be an interesting ride. Let's see how New York pans out with all of this, man. So
well, we know the history of what they stand for and what they believe in and what they don't believe in.
Right.
And it's pretty much everything we stand for, they don't.
They do not, dude. Yep.
Anybody's going to behave when they're the minority. Let them become the majority. And then shit like you saw happen in Australia happens more and more and more and more.
Yes.
So do what you want with that information. I ain't gonna sit here and we ain't gonna get into a big Muslim bashing fest, because
no.
into a shit show. But prove me wrong. I mean, is all I'm saying.
Yep. Well, look, man, I got to make a little comment here, Shane, if I could, man, with this guy, or whoever it might be out there in the comments, M Springer 9196. Dude, look, man, if you haven't liked and subscribed to this channel, you are forbidden to make any of these comments on here. I don't. I mean, fake news. We're idiots, blah, blah, blah. But if you've liked and subscribed, then, yeah, you can say what you want to say.
Oh, this guy?
So, yeah.
He's fucking Canadian.
Yeah, Canadian.
That it tells you all you need to know, man.
Yeah, right.
We love Canada, man.
Absolutely.
We
Canada.
love Canada. I don't get hockey. I don't get that yet, just because I, didn't grow up watching it. But other than that, love Canada.
I know. Man, I've had people down here that have moved from up north, and they come down here, Shane. They're like, do you like hockey? And I'm like, dude, I can't. Besides seeing a hockey game on TV, which I've never really got into, I've never been to a hockey game. We don't have ice. We don't have snow. I mean, in Christmas time this year, you know it, Shane. We were lounging around in shorts, dude, this
fucking
Christmas.
80 degrees on Christmas. But Kim Smith is right. That's kind of, I don't believe that's her name. Sounds pretty generic to me, but she is right. Only took 25 years for us to forget 9/11.
Great comment,
back to
Kim.
what I was talking about.
Yes.
Now, there's a lot of people that would argue that it wasn't them. It was our own government. If it ever did happen, right? Brad, can we get in? You want to get into that? Did the planes really hit the building? Can jet fuel melt steel beams?
Yes, can it really? Oh my God! Yeah. Well, nah,
Yeah, we're
there's
not gonna get
more
into that
to it, bro.
tonight.
No, not tonight. That's a whole nother subject. But yeah, that's
Yeah.
a whole nother conspiracy, dude. That we're gonna go down. And dude, I was gonna say we do have some good shows coming after the first of the year. I know it's the first now, but we do have some
No,
great
yeah,
shows
yeah.
coming. Yeah. I'm
Oh
stoked
yeah, I
about it.
wanna.
When
I
you and
can't
I were
wait. I want.
talking off air, yeah, I'm
Yep.
stoked.
Yeah, we're gonna get some debates going, man. Some interesting debates,
Yes,
and
absolutely. It's gonna get better
yeah,
this year.
get some guests on here. Start arguing, friendly arguments. That's all we do.
I love it.
Friendly arguments.
Yeah.
Except for the ones in the comments. Most of them hate us, but
A lot of them.
it's all politically driven, though. That's the problem. You know what I mean? That's what I talk about with these politics and the choosing the sides. Every amount of hate we get, it's all politically driven. All of it.
Absolutely.
There's no other reason, because I mean, if you just sit and listen to us, I mean, it's really you don't have to take anything we say that fucking serious. we're nobody.
Yeah, right.
But boy, because they peg us as this MAGA cult, it's like there
Yes.
comes the hate, So
Yeah, exactly.
anyway, anything else interesting going on?
No, not really.
Just a bunch of not good news. That's
Just a
about it.
bunch of not good news, and I'm sure by the next time we get on, there'll be a lot more not good news. So it looks like this fraud case is opening up more and more, and which I'm happy for, and I hope they stop it. And and really honestly, out of all the fraud that's going on, and I'm not just saying in Minnesota, dude, I want people held accountable for this. I really do, Shane. I want to see people going to trial, arrested, going to trial, and have to deal with the consequences of it, man.
Yeah, it would be nice. I know
Yes.
the DOJ right now supposedly looking into it. I'm with you. It would be amazing to actually see something
Yes.
come of that, because
Yes.
so far, I mean, you look through history. I mean, it doesn't usually happen. It
Yes.
doesn't usually happen. Not to say that no politician has ever been held accountable, so it's possible.
Yes.
With this, I think the scale is so large that
Yes.
it's kind of, to me, it's going to be like the Epstein shit.
Yes.
There's going to be so many high profile people involved in this that what are you going to do with them? You're just going to go round every governor up and you know what I mean?
That's a
I just
good point.
don't. That's the only problem I see with this. I think it's just such a large scale fraud that there's too many people behind it to actually hold anybody accountable besides a fall guy, like some secretary in the office, that they're going to blame this shit on. But as far as anybody like a Tim Walz or, a Gavin Newsom or anybody else that they're going to say is tied to this shit, it's hard to believe. I believe it when I see it, and I hope I do see it.
Yep.
But when you look back at their track record, dude, they're not very good at putting high profile people behind bars. So,
Well, let me ask you, man, before we finish up, do you think, and I know we talked about it last podcast, do you think Walt's Tampon Tim resigns?
No, bro. And I can
you
tell
really
you why,
don't, huh?
No, because I see him on X still daily. Posting shit that has nothing to do with what's going on, just trying to coast his way through this shit, and he's still politician. That's all he's doing. He's just out there politicking on X still, and people are, of course, destroying him in the comments, but he doesn't care.
Right.
So I don't know, man. To resign would be to admit guilt. And I just don't see that out of him or any of those other politicians. You know what I mean? I don't see that really happening. I hope I'm wrong. I mean,
let me give you my opinion. Let me give you my opinion.
Please.
I think within the next couple of weeks, he's going to resign. He's going to step down from governor because he's going to be forced to. It's either face consequences of what you did or step down and fade off into the sunset. Well,
let me tell you how just brazen and arrogant and don't give a fuck this asshole is, okay? December 31st. Now, this was after all the fraud was exposed. Alleged fraud.
Yes.
He puts on X, I say him, his team, whoever's, posting for this guy, puts, while Minnesota has been combating fraud, the president has been letting fraudsters out of jail. Trump's using an issue he doesn't give a damn about as an excuse to hurt working Minnesotans. So as of December 31st, this dude is still
yesterday,
claiming he's out there combating fraud, and that the president is the one that's letting the fraudsters, go free, basically. So this is the story he's going with. So it would take quite an about face for him to just say, you know what, I can't, I have to resign. I'm sorry. I just, that's the only thing. You may be right. I'm not saying you're wrong,
I understand.
but it's just hard to see anybody like him admit they did something wrong. I mean, everything I'm watching him post on his accounts on X, because he's got a couple of them. He's got his personal account, and he's got the governor account that he's on right now. Well, every single thing you see him post recently, it's just more just building him up and how Trump is bad and I'm running for re-election and we're cracking down on fraud. I mean, just December 30th, the day before. This is Trump's long game. We've spent years cracking down on fraudsters. It's a serious issue, but this has been his plan all along. He's politicizing the issue to defund programs that help people. This is the type of shit he's out there still posting. He's going to post his way through this and just, I guess, hope it goes away. But
well, look, if there's any ounce of accountability with him, or if there's any sense in the people that voted this guy in, if he's running for re-election, God, they would really wake up and be like, dude, you've done no good for our state, and hopefully they'll vote his ass out. But
and he's running. I mean, at least as of now, he's claiming he is. That's his pinned tweet. So he hadn't taken his pinned post down. I'm running for your election to continue serving as governor of Minnesota. We've made historic progress in our state, but we're not done. And when his little video on that post, he's standing next to an old-time Chevy truck. He's just a regular old guy. Middle class, man, just vote for me. I own a truck, and I'm on a farm. So it's funny to watch.
I give him 3 weeks, brother, and he's gonna get out.
I hope you're right. I really do, because that would admit nothing but guilt, and then there's not a question. Now, they'll come up with some reason that he's not going to say, I'm guilty, I'm resigning, but that's the only reason he would do it. So I hope you're right.
Well, I just look at it like this, Shane. When you got the weight of the federal government coming down on you, being like, here's your two options, dude. One, we're going to prosecute you and you're going to jail. Or two, or you could just step down, walk away, and just say, for the betterment of my state, I do not admit guilt. I've done what I can do, but for the betterment of my state, I am going to step down and appoint X to do what I got to do. I see that happening. If it means that he has a chance of going to prison, or if it means he has a chance of saying, hey, well, yeah, dude, I have a little dirt on me and I'm going to be demoralized a little bit, but I'm stepping down. I'm not going to prison, and I can walk away from this. That's what I believe is going to happen.
Yeah. So. Now, all of that is assuming we believe this DOJ that we have now is not corrupt and not as dirty as all the rest of them have been. You know what I mean?
True.
So, because I'm with you. If they really want this guy, if they really want to take him down, it doesn't seem like it's going to be very hard after all of this has come to light.
It doesn't.
It really doesn't. Now, this will let you know exactly where this Department of Justice stands. I don't have that much faith in them. I hope I'm wrong. But after watching that debacle, like we brought up a million times with the Epstein files, I have zero faith that they're actually out there to hold powerful people accountable. They're holding people accountable, but powerful people, and not saying Tim Walz is all powerful, but he's a governor. He's in the game. He's one of the top people in politics. So that would restore a lot of faith if they were to actually go after him and it went somewhere. Not just say we're investigating it, because that's all we've gotten from this DOJ so far is a bunch of investigations. And I don't want to knock them like they haven't prosecuted anyone, but as far as these big cases that are making national, if not world news, we've seen nothing but a bunch of open investigations. So I hope you're right. I pray you're right, because somebody, it's got to start somewhere to where these people, meaning these politicians, realize there may be consequences to these actions. Right now, I don't think they fear that. I don't think any of them do. Honestly, look what went on when James Comey was the head of the fucking FBI
True.
back then. There was so much illegal shit that went on. He sat there on television and said what Hillary Clinton did, and nothing came of it.
Nothing
it was just a
came
bunch of excuses. So you can bring it all the way back to that, and further than Comey. But so far, they haven't shown me anything that says they're going to hold these people's feet to the fire. And I hope I'm wrong. That's all I can say. I hope I'm wrong. I hope somebody big goes down for this shit. And I hope it don't stop at Tim Walz, because you know it doesn't stop in Minnesota.
Absolutely, dude. That's a mic drop right there, dude.
All right. Well, let's roll. We'll be back. Fuck, maybe tomorrow. Who knows? Might get bored. Get back on. We appreciate it. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do it. We appreciate that for sure.
Yep.
We glad y'all decided to check it out. Whether you love us, hate us, subscribe. We'll be back at it soon. Right. Till then, y'all be good. Brad, tell them bye.
All right, guys. Look, Happy New Year to all. And look, we look forward to seeing y'all. Check out your notifications. We will be back.